Hello, I'm Terry Hartley with Rustic Barn Cards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Welcome, Stampers. If this is your first time joining me, please consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button down below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Today is Quick Tip Monday, and I solved a problem that I have had, and I thought maybe you've had it too. So you've made a card and you go to look for a ribbon because you want to add a bow, and you realize you do not have a coordinating ribbon that you can use for your card. Well, Stampin' Up! Does make a lot of coordinating ribbon, and all their ribbons coordinate beautifully with the cardstock in the catalog. But possibly you didn't buy that particular ribbon, or you go to look in the catalog and you discover that there isn't any ribbon for the color of cardstock you've chosen for your card. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to show you two ways that you can always have coordinating ribbon to make bows to coordinate with any cardstock that you use. So let me turn the camera down and show you. Okay, so here's what you need. In the annual Stampin' Up! Catalog, on page 160, you will find this white ribbon. And this ribbon can be dyed. It's a Crinkled Seam Binding Ribbon, and you can dye it by using the ink refills, and you can also dye it using blends. So I want a Highland Heather ribbon. Now I know in our catalog we do have a ribbon, and it has 3 colors: Highland Heather, Purple Posy, and Gorgeous Grape. But I wanted just Highland Heather. So for my first bow that I want to make. So I have, this is 10 yards, and it takes me about 7 inches to make a bow. So I can use this measurement up here on a grid paper, which is awesome. So I have my ribbon, and now I'm going to bring in, and I'm going to use light Highland Heather. And of course you have 2 different ends that you can use. I'm going to use, make sure you can see that. So I'm going to use this side, which is a little thicker. You see the line that's thicker, and then the other line on the other end is thinner. So I'm going to go ahead, but it really doesn't matter. You could use either one. So I am just going to color the ribbon with the Highland Heather Stampin' Blends. And then I'll be able to make a bow and add it to my card. Okay, I'm going to let that dry just a second. And yes, you could color on the back side of the ribbon, but if you'll notice, this is what I colored with the blends, and then if I turn it over, it already is on the back too. So you really only need to do one side. If you wanted a little bit darker, you could do the other side. I think I'm going to bring in the dark Highland Heather just so you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and just go right over the light that I used. So you could have used the lighter, but I'm going to go ahead and make it just a little bit darker. I would suggest you put some paper. It will bleed through onto your grid paper and maybe onto your table. So I have a sheet of paper under my grid paper too. So I'm going to let that dry, put the cap back on, and then I'll make a bow and we'll add it to our card. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make the bow. So you can use any of your Stampin' Blends for this ribbon. You can use your ink refills. So I just think that's really awesome that you can have coordinating bows with all of your cardstock. I probably should never try to make a bow on camera, right? It always works when you practice, but when you... There we go. All right, let me get some glue dots, and we'll add this to our card. All right, I'm bringing in my card, thanks a bunch that I made, and here is the bow that we just made. Colored it with the Highland Heather, made it into a bow, and I attached it with a glue dot, and now it matches. Okay, now let's color a dye ribbon. I want to tell you how you can receive a roll of our Crinkled Seam Binding Ribbon free if you place an order for $50 using me as your demonstrator on my online store, terryhartley.stampinup.net, and that would be a $50 order before tax, shipping, and handling. Then my gift to you is a roll of the Crinkled Seam Binding Ribbon for the month of September 2020. And don't forget to use the host code. I also have a promotion going on in September. If you order using me as your demonstrator for the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, then you will receive a free embossing folder of your choice. Remember, do not add the embossing folder to your order. I will contact you, and then you can choose your free embossing folder from the mini catalog or the annual catalog. And of course, if you place an order for the new cut and emboss machine using me as your demonstrator in the month of September, you will receive the free embossing folder, as well as you will qualify to receive a roll of our Crinkled Seam Binding Ribbon. If you have any questions about that, please contact me. And before we use our ink refill, I did go ahead and use a Stampin' Blends in Cherry Cobbler, and I dyed our ribbon Cherry Cobbler because I want to use it for this card that I'm making, and we do not have any Cherry Cobbler ribbon in our catalogs. And so this is the other one that I used. I am going to use our ink refill Shaded Spruce, and we do have Shaded Spruce ribbon in our catalog. I've placed an order, but I haven't received it yet. But I need a bow of Shaded Spruce, so that's what we're going to make next. Let's do this again, and let's go ahead and I'm wanting Shaded Spruce, so I'm going to use the Stampin' ink to dye the ribbon instead of the blends. Now, I have not used the ink refills, but it says you can in the catalog, so we're going to try that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of the ribbon that you're able to dye. This is what you can order in the catalog. And lay it out. Don't know if you need to shake that, but I did. Take the cap off. And I'm going to try a dauber and see how that works. Okay, so I'm just going to, because I felt like I was wasting a lot of it. So there might be a better way to do this. But I think I like using the sponge dauber. I know it does absorb some of the ink, but I feel like I'm able to apply pressure on the ribbon and spread it around evenly. And also, I think I'm not using as much as when I was pouring it onto the ribbon. Okay. And I think that if I practice this, maybe I wouldn't get quite as messy. So I will say the Stampin' Blends are not as messy. Okay, well, now you know what not to do. Do not put too much ink on your dauber if you're going to use your dauber. And do it lightly on your ribbon if you're going to do it just with the ink. I think really the dauber is going to work fine. It's just, I just used too much, didn't I? All right, well, we do have our ribbon shaded spruce, and it is dry. So, and I think I have just as much shaded spruce ink on my hands. So we're going to make a bow. Okay, I made the bow and I put a glue dot behind. And I'm going to attach it to my card. Bring my card in. And bring my snips. Okay, now I have a shaded spruce bow. So you can dye your ribbon whatever color you want using your Stampin' Blends or the ink refills. I hope you enjoyed watching my video and having a few laughs with me along the way today. If you would like to check out my online shop, go to terryhartley.stampinup.net. I upload quick tip every Monday and how to make a card on Thursdays. Thank you for watching and have a great day.